The notification prison. Your phone buzzes, you look. A notification pops up, you respond. This cycle repeats from the moment you wake up until you fall asleep with the device still in your hand. Constant notifications have destroyed our ability to sit quietly with ourselves. Peterson's most famous exercise was simple. Sit on your bed one night and ask yourself what you're doing wrong. Just sit there and think. But try doing that exercise today. Most people can't make it 5 minutes without reaching for their phone. The silence feels uncomfortable. The absence of external stimulation creates anxiety rather than clarity. Your brain has been trained to expect constant input, constant distraction, constant external validation of its existence. This constant connectivity creates what researchers call the affecturistic. Our emotional responses become clouded by the immediate stimulation of notifications, making it nearly impossible to access genuine self-awareness. Remote workers report the highest emotional distress, with 45% experiencing stress and 27% reporting loneliness, according to Fortune research. Yet we keep checking our devices compulsively, seeking connection through the very technology that isolates us. The irony cuts deep. We have infinite information at our fingertips, yet know ourselves less than any generation in history. You can access any fact, any book, any piece of human knowledge within seconds. You can connect with people across the globe instantly. You can learn new skills, explore new ideas, and expand your understanding of the world without leaving your couch. But when was the last time you spent an hour just thinking about your own life without any digital input? When did you last sit with a difficult emotion without immediately reaching for your phone to escape it? Every ping, buzz, and notification pulls you away from self-reflection. Your phone becomes a getaway car for your consciousness. Feeling uncomfortable, check Instagram. Anxious about a decision, scroll through TikTok. Facing a difficult truth about yourself. There's an app for avoiding that too. The notifications aren't random. They're engineered to capture your attention at precisely the moments when you might otherwise turn inward and examine your own thoughts and feelings. Notifications have become our new form of external validation, replacing any internal compass we might have developed. Each buzz brings a tiny hit of dopamine, a small confirmation that someone somewhere wants your attention. Your self-worth begins to correlate with the frequency of interruptions. A quiet phone feels like social rejection. No new messages suggests no one cares. The algorithm learns your weaknesses and feeds them back to you in perfectly timed doses, designed to keep you checking, scrolling, and responding. Think about what happens when you're forced to be alone with your thoughts. Your phone dies, or you forget it at home, or you're somewhere without service. The initial panic gives way to something more unsettling. You realize how much of your mental space has been outsourced to digital stimulation. Without constant input, your mind doesn't know what to do with itself. The thoughts that surface might be uncomfortable, challenging, or require actual work to process. It's easier to reach for the phone and let someone else's content fill that space. The pressure to constantly evaluate your social media updates adds stress to daily life. Each time you post something, you worry about the response it will generate. Will people like it? Will they comment? Will they share it? This obsession creates another opportunity for comparison and potential embarrassment, especially if someone else's content gets more attention and positive feedback. You start measuring your worth by metrics that have nothing to do with who you actually are or what you're trying to accomplish in life. Your relationship with notifications shapes how you relate to your own thoughts and emotions. Instead of sitting with difficult feelings and working through them, you've trained yourself to immediately seek external distraction. Sadness gets interrupted by funny videos. Anxiety gets numbed by scrolling. Boredom gets eliminated by endless content consumption. You never learn to tolerate discomfort, never develop the capacity to sit with challenging emotions long enough to understand what they're trying to tell you. The notification economy has turned your attention into a commodity that gets bought and sold by companies whose business model depends on keeping you distracted. Every app, every platform, every service is competing for your mental bandwidth. They hire psychologists and neuroscientists to design more effective ways to capture and hold your attention. Your ability to focus, to reflect, to think deeply about your own life has become the product being sold to advertisers. Peterson understood that self-awareness requires periods of genuine solitude and reflection. You need time to process your experiences, to examine your motivations, to confront uncomfortable truths about your behavior and choices. But solitude has become almost impossible to achieve. Even when you're physically alone, you're connected to thousands of other people through your device. Their thoughts, opinions, and constant updates fill the mental space where your own insights might otherwise emerge. The fear of missing out drives much of this behavior. What if something important happens while your phone is off? What if someone tries to reach you and you don't respond immediately? What if there's news, gossip, or social drama that you're not aware of? This anxiety keeps you tethered to your device, even when you know the constant connectivity is harming your mental health and preventing genuine self-reflection. Consider the last time you had an original thought that wasn't influenced by something you saw on social media, read in an article, or heard in a podcast. Most people struggle to identify such moments because their thinking has become reactive rather than generative. You respond to other people's ideas rather than developing your own. You consume other people's insights rather than doing the hard work of generating personal wisdom through experience and reflection. The addiction operates on multiple levels. There's the obvious dopamine hit from likes and comments, but there's also the deeper addiction to avoiding discomfort. Notifications provide an escape route from any challenging internal experience. They offer a socially acceptable way to avoid dealing with your own thoughts and feelings. Everyone else is doing it, so it doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like normal social behavior. Digital detox periods become essential for anyone serious about self-awareness. Not permanent disconnection, but regular intervals where you create space for your own thoughts to emerge without external interference. These breaks feel uncomfortable at first because you've lost the tolerance for mental stillness. But it's in those moments of digital silence that you can hear your own voice again, separate from the constant chorus of other people's opinions and distractions. The first step to finding your true self is creating sacred spaces free from digital interference. Spaces where notifications can't reach you, where algorithms can't influence your thinking, where you're forced to confront whatever thoughts and feelings arise naturally. These moments of genuine solitude become the foundation for authentic self-knowledge. But even as you work to reclaim your attention from the notification prison, a deeper anxiety emerges about what it means to be human in an age where machines seem increasingly capable of replacing us entirely. AI anxiety and the fear of being replaced. If AI can do my job, what's my unique value? This question haunts millions of workers in 2025, creating what researchers formally define as AI anxiety, the fear and trepidation associated with AI's potential impact on various aspects of life, including job security and personal privacy. You wake up to headlines about AI writing novels, diagnosing diseases, and creating art that sells for thousands of dollars. Then you sit down at your computer to do work that feels increasingly automatable. The fear isn't just about losing income, it's about losing purpose, relevance, and proof that your existence matters in a world where machines can replicate human intelligence with increasing sophistication. This anxiety strikes at people across all age groups, manifesting as an existential crisis that challenges the core of human identity. Young people who grew up expecting to build their identities around their work now face the possibility that their chosen professions might become obsolete before they're fully established. These aren't abstract worries about the distant future, they're immediate concerns about career paths that might disappear within years rather than decades. Peterson taught that meaning comes through taking on responsibility and developing competence in areas that matter. But what happens when the areas where you've developed competence become the exact areas where AI excels? The lawyer whose research can be done by algorithms, the writer whose articles can be generated by language models, the analyst whose insights can be produced by data processing systems. The foundation of Peterson's philosophy, that you find purpose through becoming good at something important, suddenly feels shaky when machines can become good at those same things faster and cheaper. The humor in our situation borders on the absurd. We worry about robots taking over while we voluntarily hand our decision-making to algorithms every day. Netflix tells you what to watch, Spotify curates your music, GPS determines your route, dating apps choose your potential partners, Amazon suggests your purchases. You've already outsourced most of your daily choices to AI systems, yet you panic about AI taking control of your life. You're like someone who's been letting a robot drive their car for years, suddenly becoming terrified that robots might learn to drive. Recommendation engines have transformed us into passive consumers of our own lives. Instead of actively choosing what to read, watch, listen to, or buy, you respond to suggestions generated by algorithms that know your preferences better than you do. These systems don't just predict what you want, they shape what you want by limiting your exposure to options outside their calculated parameters. Your tastes, interests, and even your sense of identity become partially algorithmic creations rather than authentic personal developments. The deeper fear cuts to the heart of human existence. If machines can replicate human intelligence, what makes us human? This question terrifies people because it challenges the fundamental assumption that consciousness, creativity, and emotional intelligence are uniquely human traits. When AI creates poetry that moves people to tears, writes code that solves complex problems, and generates insights that advance scientific knowledge, The boundaries between human and artificial intelligence blur in ways that feel threatening to our species-level identity. However, McKinsey research reveals that only 1% of companies call their AI deployments mature, illustrating a significant gap between the hype surrounding AI capabilities and the reality of current implementation. While approximately 50% of companies utilize AI in at least one business area, the actual impact on worker well-being shows no significant negative effects from AI exposure, according to workforce studies. The fear often exceeds the immediate reality. This anxiety manifests in frantic attempts at self-optimization that mirror the very systems we fear will replace us. People obsess over productivity hacking, skill stacking, and constant learning as if they can somehow outcompete machines at being machine-like. They track their habits, optimize their routines, and measure their performance with the same metrics used to evaluate AI systems. The irony is profound. In trying to stay relevant in an AI world, many people are becoming more algorithmic in their thinking and behavior. The skill-updating treadmill never stops. Every few months brings news of AI achieving new capabilities, which triggers another round of career pivoting and skill acquisition. You learn Python, then discover AI can code better than you. You develop expertise in data analysis, then find AI can process datasets faster and more accurately. You pivot to creative work, only to watch AI generate art, music, and stories. The constant adaptation becomes exhausting, a never-ending race against systems that improve exponentially while human learning follows linear patterns. The question that keeps people awake at night isn't really about competing with machines. It's about remembering what makes us irreplaceably human. Are we trying to become better versions of what AI already does well? Or are we trying to reconnect with aspects of humanity that no algorithm can replicate? The answer determines whether AI anxiety becomes a destructive force that drives people toward machine-like behavior or a constructive force that calls them back to authentic human qualities. Peterson understood that human value doesn't come from what you can do, it comes from how you choose to be. Your capacity for moral choice, your ability to take responsibility for others, your willingness to suffer for principles you believe in, your capability for genuine love and sacrifice, these qualities can't be programmed or optimized. They emerge from the messy, inefficient, gloriously human process of living through difficulty and choosing meaning over comfort. Consider what AI cannot replicate. The decision to tell a difficult truth when lying would be easier, the choice to help someone when there's no personal benefit, the willingness to persist through failure when quitting would be rational, the capacity to forgive someone who doesn't deserve it. These fundamentally human qualities don't require advanced degrees or technical skills. They require character, which develops through moral choices made over time in real relationships with real consequences. Your irreplaceable human value lies in your capacity for authentic relationship. AI can simulate conversation, but it cannot genuinely care about your well-being. It can process your problems, but it cannot truly understand your suffering. It can offer solutions, but it cannot share the burden of implementation. The human qualities that matter most, empathy, loyalty, courage, integrity, exist in the context of relationships where your choices affect other people who matter to you. AI anxiety is actually a call to rediscover your authentic human qualities that no algorithm can replicate. Instead of trying to compete with machines at mechanical tasks, you can focus on developing the moral courage, relational skills, and character traits that define human flourishing. The fear of replacement becomes an invitation to remember what makes you irreplaceably human, not your productivity metrics, but your capacity to choose meaning, create authentic connections, and take responsibility for making the world better through your presence in it. Yet even as we recognize these irreplaceable human qualities, many of us respond to AI anxiety by doubling down on the very mechanistic thinking we fear machines will replace. We turn to systems, apps, and optimization strategies to somehow engineer our way out of existential uncertainty. The optimization trap. This drive towards systematic control has created what researchers call the optimization trap. The self-improvement industry has exploded into a multi-billion-dollar ecosystem where personal growth gets transformed into performance metrics. Your phone contains applications designed to make you more efficient, focused, and successful through data collection and algorithmic feedback. The promise is simple: track enough metrics and follow enough protocols, and you can hack your way to an optimized life. Personal growth has been transformed into a performance metric. You don't just read books anymore, you track pages per day and measure reading speed. You don't just exercise, you monitor heart rate zones and analyze recovery data. You don't just sleep, you track REM cycles and optimize your bedroom environment based on detailed reports. Every human activity becomes quantifiable data that can be improved through systematic intervention. Peterson understood that struggle is necessary for growth. Real development happens when you confront difficult situations and work through them without clear instructions or guaranteed outcomes. But optimization culture has created an entire industry dedicated to eliminating struggle through life hacks, productivity systems, and efficiency techniques. Why face the messy process of figuring out your priorities when you can download an app that categorizes your tasks using scientifically proven methods? The humor in trying to optimize the human experience like it's a software program becomes apparent when you examine the absurdity. People spend hours each day logging data about their habits, then spend more time analyzing that data to identify areas for improvement, then spend even more time researching new optimization strategies. The process of optimization becomes more time-consuming than the activities being optimized. You end up spending more energy managing your productivity system than actually being productive. Genuine self-development has been replaced with data tracking and habit stacking. Instead of developing authentic relationships, you track social interactions and set networking goals. Instead of exploring creative interests, you measure creative output and establish systems for consistent content generation. Instead of learning to tolerate discomfort, you create detailed protocols for managing every aspect of your emotional and physical experience. The tracking becomes the goal rather than the growth it was supposed to measure. McKinsey research reveals that while AI can improve workplace performance, it often increases stress levels among employees who feel pressure to match algorithmic efficiency. This creates a paradox where tools designed to help us become more effective actually make us more anxious about our performance. The constant measurement creates pressure to perform rather than space to grow. Every day becomes a test of whether you're meeting your metrics, rather than an opportunity to experience life directly. Optimization culture has made people afraid of inefficiency, boredom, and natural human rhythms. You panic when you have unscheduled time because it feels unproductive. You feel guilty when you're not working toward measurable goals because it seems wasteful. You become anxious during periods of rest because they don't generate data or progress toward optimization targets. The natural ebb and flow of human energy gets replaced with rigid systems designed to maintain consistent output regardless of internal states. Data shows that stress from remote work conditions has led to significant mental health days lost across organizations worldwide. Yet instead of addressing the root causes of this stress, many people respond by implementing more sophisticated tracking systems and optimization protocols. They try to engineer their way out of psychological distress using the same mechanistic thinking that created the problem in the first place. What gets lost when you try to eliminate all friction from your life is the development that happens specifically because of friction. Peterson recognized that meaningful growth occurs when you face challenges without clear solutions and work through them using your judgment, creativity, and persistence. The struggles that optimization culture tries to eliminate are often the exact experiences that build character, develop resilience, and create genuine confidence in your ability to handle uncertainty. Consider what happens when you encounter a problem that doesn't have an app, system, or optimization strategy to solve it. People who have become dependent on external frameworks for personal development often feel helpless when facing novel challenges that require original thinking and adaptive responses. They've trained themselves to follow protocols rather than develop judgment. They've learned to optimize existing systems rather than create new approaches when circumstances change. The self-improvement industry profits from convincing you that there's always a better system, a more efficient approach, or a more optimized way to live. This creates a perpetual cycle of system hopping where you constantly search for the perfect productivity method, the ideal habit tracking app, or the ultimate life optimization framework. You become a consumer of self-improvement products rather than someone who actually improves through direct experience and reflection. Some struggles are features, not bugs, of human development. The confusion you feel when making important decisions forces you to clarify your values and priorities. The discomfort of learning new skills builds tolerance for uncertainty and persistence through difficulty. The messiness of relationships teaches you empathy, communication, and compromise. These developmental challenges can't be optimized away without losing the growth they're designed to produce. True growth happens in the unoptimized spaces where you have to figure things out for yourself. The moments when your system breaks down and you have to improvise. The situations where your data doesn't provide clear guidance and you have to trust your judgment. The experiences that don't fit into measurable categories but somehow change you in important ways. Jung understood that small micro-improvements like tidying your room can produce major psychological changes. This connects directly to Peterson's original bedtime exercise. Sit quietly and ask yourself what you're doing wrong that you could fix. The power isn't in the optimization system you use to track room cleaning habits. It's in the simple act of taking responsibility for your immediate environment and honestly confronting areas where you're avoiding necessary action. But even this simple practice gets complicated when the very spaces where we live and work have fundamentally changed how we connect with other people. Remote work and the loss of shared reality